Hello students, welcome back to Gokhale Education Society's e-learning program 2020, Standard 9th, Subject Geography of English Medium.
Friends, today we will learn the ninth chapter of geography, that is trade. In this chapter, we shall learn concept and types of international trade, balance of trade, marketing, advertisement, and some international trade and economic organizations. All these concepts will be studied in this lesson. So friends, let's start the lesson trade. Friends, just try to get answers of those questions. Make a list of commodities which you use daily, such as vegetables or grocery items, etc. Who uses these commodities? Obviously, we, the people, or we can say we are the consumer who are using these commodities. Write the sources of the supplies of these commodities. Means how do you get all these commodities in the market? Means supplier is there, a distributor is there. From manufacturer we get all these things. From where do you buy these commodities? What do you call the act of buying and selling? Obviously, the buying and selling is known as a trade. What does the shopkeeper take in lieu of the commodities? Is what does he take from us? That is obviously money. In this way, from where do these commodities come to the market? From where have you bought them, and what is their main source? All this information you have to get and write it against the commodities in the above list. And you can have a discussion also with your friends. What are the sources of all these trades, all these commodities that you can get after getting the discussion to your parents or to your siblings. Friends, on the basis of the information obtained from the above list, you will know that we buy the goods we need from the shops, markets, or any malls around us. Generally, the sellers of these goods are not the manufacturers of the goods. They bring these commodities from somewhere, and it is not necessary that these commodities are manufactured in our surroundings. These commodities are manufactured at the different places far away from us. They could be first brought by retail sellers from the wholesale market, factories, agricultural product, or market committees, etc., and then they reach to us. We get all these products from the different places. Similarly, you can find out where the special products or items made in your village, city are sent. Means from the agricultural products we can send it to the bigger markets or market committees or the bigger malls in the cities. Friends, as you know that we have the various needs or wants in our day-to-day life. We buy various things to satisfy our wants, needs. When we buy them, we create a demand for them. Means whenever we are purchasing anything for our personal use, then we become the consumer. To fulfill the demand for these products, the production of these goods is carried out. So the producer supplies these goods in order, in other words, he sells them to wholesale trader. In this way, the buying and selling of goods is done to fulfill each other's need. These who purchase are the consumers of the goods. The producer produces and the sellers sell the goods. And in this way, buyers and sellers buy and sell the goods respectively. And this is called as a trade. Means student, trade depends on demand and supply. Trade is an important economic activity. The economic life of people is interdependent on each other. No region or a country is self-sufficient in all segments. Trade between the two regions is necessary to fulfill the needs of the people. As each region has a different geographical conditions, each region produces specific commodities. Means in this manner we can say that no country is self sufficient in all the things. So each and every country needs each other's help, and through this the trade begins. Friends, if there is a paucity of a commodity, then there is a demand for that commodity. The place where it is abundant provides the supply of the commodity. In this way, the supply is done from the regions producing excess commodities to the region where there is a scarcity or deficit according to the demand. For example, apples produced in Jammu and Kashmir are sent to other states of India having a demand for it in as per the needs of the different states. Friends, trade is an age-old concept. In ancient and medieval periods also, trade was done through the barter system. What is a barter system? In ancient period, the things or the goods were exchanged as a medium of currency. Means that time there was no currency used in barter system. One is giving the things, and in return of that the other people were also giving another things. However, in this process the problem of estimating a proper price of commodities arises. As a result, the use of currency started later. Today, trade is carried out with the help of currency only. Rupees is our currency. Barter system still exists in the remote areas amongst the tribal people also. Now friends, let's learn about visible trade and invisible trade. Friends, you can see in the picture also, when there is a buying and selling of actual goods, it is called as visible trade. On the other hand, when there is an exchange of service such as insurance, teaching, medical, or services given by the lawyers is called as invisible trade. Means in short we are getting the services. Now friends, let's learn about the different types of trade. Friends, there are the two types of trade are there. On the basis of quantity of goods, the trades are classified as wholesale trade and retail trade. Other type of trade is on the basis of the extent of trade region, and it is classified further as domestic or internal trade, second international or external trade, and furthermore international or external trade is classified as import and export. With the help of the tree diagram you can draw this also in your classwork notebook. Now friends, let's see in detail the types of trade. First one, on the basis of the quantity of trade. There are the following two types of trade are there on the basis of quantity of trade. First one, wholesale trade. What is meant by wholesale trade? The traders buys large quantity of commodities directly from the producers and sells the same to the retail shopkeeper or traders, and this type of trade is called as wholesale trade. Second one is retail trade. The traders buy the goods from the wholesale traders and sell it directly to the customers in the smaller quantities, and this type of trade is called as a retail trade. Means all the small shops or small businesses, not a businesses, we can say that small shops at a individual level is the best example of retail trade. Friends, second category of trade is according to the extent of region. The following two types are there on the basis of the extent of region is there. First one, domestic or internal trade. Friends, it takes place between the different regions within the same country. The size of the country, diversity, availability of the natural resources, transport and communication system, standard of living of the people, marketing system, all these things affect the internal trade. There is a positive relation between economic growth and trade. Means you can see in short the trade between the two villages, two districts or two regions, two states can be the best example of the domestic or internal trade. Second type of trade on the basis of the extent of trade is international or external trade. Friends, international trade means the exchange of goods and services of one country with other countries. Here, some countries produce specific products in excess. For example, crude oil in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, and other Arabian countries, whereas wheat production in the USA, Canada, etc. These products are sent to the countries having demand for those goods. These things leads to the beginning of international trade. When international trade takes place between two countries, it is a bilateral trade. But when it occurs between more than two countries, then it is called as multilateral trade. Now friends, let's see the subtypes of international or external trade, that is import and export trade. Friends, export and import are the basic processes of international trade. When a country buys those goods and services which are scarce or less in their own country from another country, such type of trade is known as import. Means we brought from other countries. But when a country produces excess goods and services than their requirement, it sells it to other countries which have demand for it. Means we are sending that services or goods to other countries. Such type of trading activity is called as export of trade. Now friends, let's learn about the balance of trade. Friends, the difference between the value of imports and the value of exports in a specific period is called as balance of trade. Unfavorable balance of trade arises when the value of imports is more than the value of exports. Favorable balance of trade takes place when the value of exports is more than the value of imports. So, when there is not much difference in the value of exports and imports, then it is called as balance of trade. You can see it also in the figure 9.3a, that is the unfavorable balance of trade is shown, means import is more than the export. In the second figure, that is 9.3b, favorable balance of trade is there, means there the export is more than the import. And in the figure 9.3 you can see that there is a equal value of export as well as the import, and this is the best example of balance of trade. Now friends, let's learn about the International Trade Organization. Friends, international trade is more complex than the domestic trade due to the following things. Differences in the nature of economy is one of the reason. Second one, differences in the policies of the government of a country. Then there are the differences in market, laws, judicial system, currency, language, etc. The political relations also influence trade between two countries in the international trade. To avoid the differences and the obstacles between the countries, international economic and trade organizations were established. They smoothen the promote the international trade. They facilitate the growth of international trade also. The details of an some few organizations have been given below in the table. You can see it. Now friends, let's learn about and study about some economic organization of the world. You can see in the table also. The first one is World Trade Organization, popularly known as WTO. The number of member states or nations are 164 and logo is also given. And the headquarters of World Trade Organization is in the country Switzerland at Geneva. What is the function or the aims of the World Trade Organization? These are to provide the platform for negotiations in the international trade. Second, to handle the differences related to trade. Then, monitor the trade policies of member states. The fourth one is to provide technological assistance and training to develop the countries. The second trade organization is European Union, and the 28 member nations are there. The headquarters of the European Union is at Brussels in Belgium. The aims or the functions of European Union are to establish an integrated market amongst the member nations in Europe. Second, to have a free flow of goods, services and capital in Europe. Third one, custom duties have been cancelled on exchange of goods within the member nations. And the fourth one, common euro currency is established. Means this organization is particularly works for the European countries. The next organization is Organizations of Petroleum Exporting Countries, popularly known as OPEC. 13 member nations are there, and the headquarters of OPEC is at the capital of Austria, that is at Vienna. The aims are to control the international trade of crude oil. Second, to control the rates of crude oil production amongst the member states. And the third one is to maintain the consensus in oil exports. Means these countries particularly work just for the trade of crude oil. The fourth organization is SAARC, that is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. And the total 8 members are there of this organization, and the headquarters is located at the capital city of Nepal, that is Kathmandu. The aims are to find the satisfactory solutions to the common problem faced by the countries in South Asia. Second, to increase the social welfare, to raise the living standard and increase the regional cooperation among the member states. And the third one, to remove the unrest in South Asia. The next world organization is Association of Southeast Asian Nations, popularly known as ASEAN. 10 members are there in this organization, and the headquarters is located at the capital city of Indonesia, that is at Jakarta. The aims and the functions are to expand the social and cultural harmony along with economic growth in Southeast Asia, to promote the regional peace, to promote the tax waivers for trade growth in member states. And the next world organization is APEC, that is Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Total 21 members are there, and the headquarters is located at Singapore. The aims or the functions are free trade and economic cooperation in Asia Pacific Ocean region, to promote regional as well as the technical cooperation amongst the member nations. And the last world organization is BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. 5 members are there of this organization, and the headquarters is located at Shanghai, that is in China. The aims or the functions of this organization are to make funds available for growth of economies of these 5 member nations, to enhance mutual economic cooperation, and to strengthen the economic security of the countries. These are the some of the important international trade and economic organizations are there which are working at present at the global level. Okay friends, this is the part 1 of the lesson trade. Thank you for a day. Listen the video again, read the lesson again and study it properly. The second part we will learn in the next video. Thanks once again and have a nice day.